Let's break the game.
Welcome to the GameBreakers. My name's Dave Finley, and I'm your host. This is my co-host, Cam. Cam, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. Glad to be here. Glad to do this first episode.
Yep.
And we got some really exciting stuff to unpack today, guys. So we're looking forward to letting you all know.
Yeah, and honestly, we're in our new studio. This studio feels like home already. I'm super excited to bring this and showcase this to the world. We want to be like we were saying, the Mr. Beast of game shows and of basketball and esports, bringing in a whole ecosystem of athletes and gamers under one roof and giving away some amazing cash prizes. I'm honestly stoked. I'm stoked.
Me too. I'm excited. Let's get into it.
I couldn't agree more. It feels great to be here. We have a lot of exciting things to unpack. Now, let's kick off the first episode and talk some basketball. That's really that's what I want to talk about right now first.
Me too. There's a lot going on right now.
It is. And we're about a month and about 6 weeks into the NBA season. And, there's a lot of talk in the air about MVP. And I don't know about you guys at home, but we have some picks here that we think might win MVP this year. Who are you thinking, Cam?
So I'll start off with the runner-ups. So the first one I got to go with is Shea. Hamilton guy, unbelievable player. He just had a career high back on November 11th. I think he dropped 45 points.
Yeah, huge.
He's an absolute nightmare for any coverage. And he's really leading the pack. I know Chet got injured earlier on in the season, and they didn't really forecast that. But, man, they're playing some amazing ball.
Yeah, and I think Hartenstein is actually pulling his weight too.
He's playing well.
Yeah,
He's playing really well.
For sure.
He's
So,
really well.
and that also helps Shea too. He needs that center there. He's that kind of player that needs that center there, and he's great. So I can't wait to see what comes out of that.
Yeah, they're just a great young team. They're really deep too. So sky's the limit for them. But for my number one pick for the MVP right now, as long as he still keeps
Tatum.
I was initially going to go with Tatum, but I got to go with Jokic. Even though their record isn't the greatest, I think they're 11-8.
Yeah.
If he keeps putting up numbers like this, I think he's averaged like 30 and 13.
Yeah, 30
and
13.
10 assists.
That's insane.
It's unheard of.
That's insane. He just put up 35 the other night. Yeah, he's on fire for sure. Thirdly, I would say, we have to either go with Melo. That's who I don't know if you guys have been watching Melo, but Melo is absolutely just dominating right now. His moves are like nothing you've ever seen before.
It almost looks like he's playing in a video game out there. Just
Seriously.
So much confidence, doesn't think twice
Real
about
life
his shots.
2K.
And yeah.
Yeah, so it's exciting
really
to see him play. That's who I would say if Charlotte can really push the bar and make it to the finals and go far in the finals, then I think he has a shot to become MVP.
Time will tell.
Time
will tell.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's switch gears a bit. I'm really surprised by some of the teams that are doing so well, and but also like blown away by some that are underperforming. So it's actually like it's really bad. Like who's hot and who's not right now. So who do you think's underperforming? Who do you think's performing?
So in terms of underperforming, even though they're not the worst team in the NBA, they're damn close. I'm going to go with the Sixers. And it's a surprise to me because when the season first started, I had them as one of the top 5 teams in the NBA, but they're just not getting it done. I mean, they've fallen on some bad luck too with Paul George getting injured early.
Yep.
Joel Embiid
eating all those
burgers. And he's got to take care of his body. See, the thing is, in the past, he was really cleaning up. And
he averaged like 30-something points last season. Right?
Yeah, he averaged 30-something points last season. And when a guy's scoring and playing that well, you can't really say much about what he does off the court. But people are starting to speak up now.
Yeah, they should. They blasted him on Gil's Arena, so that was pretty bad. So but it's true that you can't be the focal player of the team, the guy. You're the guy there. You're the all-star there. You know what I mean? And then you got young guys like Maxey who are coming into the league, and then that's who they have to look up to. And he's not even playing away games like Embiid. You gotta show these young guys what's going on, man.
You really do.
So who do you think's overperforming? Like who do you think's overachieving? A team that's doing super good right now that you didn't really think that was gonna do that great?
Honestly, I'm really surprised by the Houston Rockets.
Okay, cool.
And surprisingly, Jalen Green, we thought he was going to have an insane season this year. He's not playing as well as we'd anticipated, but their defense is amazing.
Amazing. And, when I think of the Houston Rockets, I think of James Harden, and that was like, I thought that was like when they were going to be in their prime.
That's right.
But to see them doing so good right now, it's like, who's James Harden? They're doing really good without him. So, and it's really good. So those are some teams that are doing well and that are also underperforming. And that's great. There's also some talk in the air right now already about Rookie of the Year. We've seen some crazy plays from some of the rookies like Dalton Connect.
Spectacular.
He airballed last night. I'm not gonna lie. He was like 1 in 4. Horrible last night. But he's done some things that are standing out. So that's who I'm kind of leaning towards for the roadie. But who do you got?
So I'd say for the runner-up, I'd go with Jared McCain.
Okay.
And it's surprising with him because if you look at him, if you just follow his social media, this guy looks like he acts on High School Musical. He doesn't really fit the mold of a basketball player, but when you watch that kid on the court, he gets busy.
Yeah, you know what? It's true too. He does do a bunch online,
TikTok and everything like that.
Yeah, but that's kind of the wave of the future. These guys are doing social media just as much as they are practicing in the gym.
In terms of his game, he's balling 16.4 points a game. Putting up about 2.6 rebounds. 2.5 assists.
Yeah, amazing player. He's got a bright future.
And he can shoot from pretty much anywhere on the floor. So tip my hat to him.
Yeah, for sure. I won't lie to you. You're absolutely on the money with that, and I can't disagree with you. We've been talking a lot about basketball, but let's kind of get into like the esports a little bit, because we do basketball and esports, and we want to converge these worlds together and create an ecosystem of gamers and athletes. So right in from the NBA into NBA 2K. I've been playing NBA 2K with you a little bit at my house, and Kyle, he's great. I'm gonna admit he's better than I am. For some of these athletes, 2K has actually become a profession. With the NBA 2KL, it's the 2K league. So like all the actual NBA teams sign a roster of gamers already, and they can actually trade between teams and everything. It's a real roster. So like the Golden State Warriors, we had Jin Sanity play in our tournament. Witnessing him play NBA 2K was wild.
So good.
He flew through everybody. So there's tiers and there's levels to esports, and I'm excited for the future of esports with games like League of Legends and even Pokemon Go. Like it's one of the biggest esport tournaments out there. 400,000 concurrent viewers on their tournament. So it's amazing to see the growth of esports, and that's why we want to kind of bring esports onto the plane of basketball as well.
Absolutely. Even what's going on with the World Esports Championships, there's a lot of really great things going on.
Huge. Saudi Arabia is really doing it right, man. Like Saudi Arabia is on point with the esports. They're doing a $60 million tournament out in Saudi Arabia. Guys, if you haven't seen the WEC, go look up the WEC right now. The World Finals are happening. It's a $60 million tournament. You don't want to miss it. Indonesia's been like one of the top teams in that tournament for years, and they got kicked out early this year. So it's really a shock to the world right now that they didn't make the finals. But hey, man, it's really cool to see that much money has been given away for esports.
A whole lot going on. 23 events. They got 22 esports tournaments. So really exciting.
And it is, and it goes beyond that too. Like Gerard Williams is my friend. He goes by the Hip Hop Gamer Hot 97, and he's great. So he goes around and he does interviews with all these big legends and movie stars, and talks about esports and asks them how would you fit into the esports world. And he did an interview with Denzel Washington, and now he's opening a school for esports athletes who are getting paid $100 an hour to go to school and play esports. So
it can really be a profession now. And there's another game that we've been wanting to talk about, Off the Grid.
Yeah, and Off the Grid, you're right. Off the Grid is absolutely insane. It's the first AAA rated blockchain video game. So cryptocurrency inside of a video game. So kids can actually play to earn.
Yeah.
So the coin that's in the video game is going to end up being on the blockchain, and all the skins that you get, the weapons that you get, the limbs and the cyber limbs and everything, the beards and the hairstyles, everything you can collect in that video game becomes an NFT that you can sell on a secondary marketplace and actually create a bank account, like a bankroll for Guns Coin. That's what it's called, the Guns Coin. So now these kids are playing video games and earning cash from home. They don't even have to go to school. They don't have to play in these big tournaments. If this is the way the world's going to go with video games, I can't wait to see what Activision comes out with and Rockstar.
Absolutely. Right. It's amazing to see where esports is going. Gone are the days where you got to tell your kids to get off the video games because you need to do homework. Because now you can actually make money with games. So it's amazing to see.
All right, guys, thank you. We're going to go to a quick commercial break. We'll be back right after this with an amazing interview from the CEO of UPLAY, Dwayne Washington.
Let's break the game.
What's going on, guys? This is Cam with the GameBreakers. I'm super excited today, guys. We have an absolute legend, the president and founder of UPLAY Basketball Academy. He's worked with countless top-tier athletes that you've heard of, Shea Alexander, RJ Barrett, Shaden Sharp, just to name a few, and he's a skill development expert. So we're really excited to get into the podcast, and thank you so much for coming today, Dwayne.
Thank you for having me. This is a great setup, and this thing looks amazing. I'm just excited to be here, and you have something special here, I can tell.
Absolutely. We're excited to have you, and love that photo there. Look very, very professional. So the first place I'd like to start is where did your basketball journey start? Where's your hometown, and when did you start getting into basketball?
Yeah, I was born in Queens, raised in the Bronx, and I played basketball in high school. I played baseball starting off, but I ended up playing basketball in high school. Got a scholarship at a school, Division II school. Ended up turning down some Division I's because when you go in Division I, usually you have to take communications, and I wanted to be a teacher, so I went Division II. So I did that. I ended up coming up to Toronto in 2004 to do grad school at University of Toronto, and I ended up staying. I met my wife. I ended up staying and started the program because I thought there was a void there. I'm coming out of Hamilton, so. Yeah, obviously, I have a lot of connections from back home. I played with a lot of great players, Stephon Marbury, Tim Thomas, a lot of guys, and a bunch of my friends are actually in the NBA GMs and front office guys. So my connections run really deep. So I just wanted to give back, knowing that I had those relationships in the States. So
that's awesome.
Yes.
What was it like playing with Stephon Marbury?
Well, I played against him.
Sorry.
And it wasn't good because he was twice as strong as everyone else at the time. But it was a great experience because in New York City at that time, there was a lot of great point guards, and it used to be the Mecca. I know they say it is the Mecca now, but a lot of people have moved to D.C., Atlanta, L.A. It's changed. Even Toronto is a crazy hotbed now.
Absolutely.
But at that time, it was just a blacktop. It was old school. I'm class of '95. I graduated high school, so I'm older than I look. So it was great. It was just gritty. You had to fight for everything. It was a bunch of guards. Everybody can handle the ball. You seen the N1 mixtapes. Ray for Austin, he played for the Raptors. Skip to Mylou. He's a year older, but that was the game back then. You played outside and no blood, no foul. So it was fun days back then. It's changed now, but everything evolves.
That's awesome. So it sounds like growing up, you were able to see some of the greatest players out of New York in terms when you're talking about street ball, like Ray for Austin and Marbury. So that's awesome that you got to play at that level, and it's cool to know how you ended up in Toronto.
Yes. Toronto, it was fantastic, and the University of Toronto is why I'm here, and I'm glad I stayed because I think we have done some great things in the last 20 years through the program.
You certainly have. And like I said earlier, you're an absolute expert when it comes to skill development and coaching. So I'm just curious to know, like, what got you into the skill development side of things, and how did that journey start?
Well, my brain is made up in a way where I like to solve problems, and being the baseball background, everything is analytics, everything is numbers, how things work, and breaking things down from part to whole. So when you take it to basketball is a little more simplistic because there's fewer positions, and then you look at the techniques. For example, I have a cheat code because I learned the game from Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland is a guy, he's was in the G League, he played in the NBA for a lot of years. When I was a kid, he would teach us the game of basketball when he played for the Spurs. So I only known how to play the point guard position at a very high level. If you look at Andrew Nembhard, Shea Alexander, all these different guys, Josh Primo, they play similar to Rod Strickland, who was also the godfather of Kyrie Irving. That's who I learned the game from. But there was no Kyrie Irving at that time. He wasn't even born. So a lot of these guys were getting kind of like the pedigree from that to now. So I know I really didn't answer your question.
That's okay.
But I wanted to make sure I threw that piece in it because the skill development part, it goes back to your question. It goes back to seeing the individual in person, seeing how their hips are, seeing how they move, how tight their upper body is. It's just how you move. If, for example, if you have someone like a SGA who's very thin, who have thin hips, and really long, he can do spin moves. He can do different quick turns. Where you have someone like Shaden Sharp who has thick hips, he's strong quads. He can't really turn quickly. It's like a Porsche or, a Hummer. You can't drive them the same. And so what you do is you look at the person's body and you break it down and seeing what moves could work with your body for you to be able to do that long term. So you look at a player comp. So let's say LeBron James' body is, very rugged, and you look at him and you see RJ Barrett, who could be similar. He won't move the same way as an Andrew Nimhart or Shea. So you just look at the individual. So it's just like if you have 3 kids or 2 brothers and sisters, you don't treat them both the same, even though you're in the same house. So once you look at the individual, you can see what their needs are. You can see the deficiencies. You can see their, the things that they do well, and you kind of highlight that. So it's a lot of fun. It's almost like building, it's putting a puzzle together.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's unique. I've never heard of that before, but that's such an important thing to do, because what I've noticed is a lot of players will play in the wrong position, especially with they call it like the Curry effect. Everybody wants to shoot threes. So I think that's really amazing that you're able to identify where a player would be best suited. One of the things I'm really impressed with too is how you've been able to get these players to play so well at this level and to adopt the mindset of success. So I know you've mentioned before something about FUD.
Yes.
So I was hoping you could tell the viewers more about that and how you're able to help these guys with their mindset to be ready for that next level.
Yeah, FUD is an acronym, and it's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And I stole it from the stock market. I do options. I trade every day. That's what I do. And when you eliminate the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, and you just focus on the, how to get the goal accomplished, most of life is holding you back through fear. And coming out of Canada, a lot of guys are looking at Americans, they're looking at guys in France, different places, and they already have a little bit of fear. So once you attack that, now you can perform. And the uncertainty is not knowing what's coming. So what I do is able to show them the answers to the test, because I know how to get there. I've been there a lot of times. So now they know how it's going to look. That clears up the uncertainty. The doubt is really sometimes a self-doubt, but it's also doubt that's put on you by other people who haven't accomplished a lot of things, and it's not their fault. But what you want to do is put a great support system around them. When you eliminate the FUD, now it's about your input equals output. So how hard you work and how smart you work will determine your outcome, and that's in anything. But basketball more so, because we're very fortunate to be right next to the U.S., which is where most of the kids want to play, in the NBA or NCAA. And if you're that close based on proximity, you already have, a heads up over people who are coming from the continent of Africa or Australia, Europe, etc. So you just show them the reality, how to be successful. And when they see it, they usually achieve it with the hard work.
And that's a great answer. And we've definitely seen a lot of success with the players that have adapted that mindset. I think as of last year, 10 players went to the NBA from your program in the last 7 years?
Yeah, I think we have 11 or 12 now. All you have to do is play one game in NBA, and you're an NBA player. We do have guys in the G League, but our guys typically perform very early. If you notice, when our guys go to NCAA, like Will Riley, he's 18, or you have guys like Shaden Sharp, who's 18, 19, to get drafted. They always play right away, because what we do is we eliminate the excuse of, well, this guy's 35 years old and I'm only 18. Once you get on that stage, there's no age anymore. There's no grade. It's not high school. So you have to understand how to block out all of the things that you can't control and control what you can. They put their pants on just like you. They put their shoes on. Even Kobe Bryant was a human being. Once you eliminate that, you realize, you know what? I can affect A, B, C, so I'm going to focus on my job. It's great. It's a science and an art. Because if it was just a science, everybody can just plug in a formula and get the end result. But an art being that you have to have a feel for it. So I love doing it.
Absolutely. And the program that he's doing amazing things with, like I said, is UPLAY. So tell us a bit more about UPLAY. What does UPLAY stand for?
Yes, UPLAY is an acronym. It stands for United Public Leadership Academy for Youth. The reason why I put that together is because when I came to Canada, there was a division between Catholic schools and public schools. And so United, I wanted everyone to be together. We had Congolese kids coming in. We had Rwandan. We had Serbian kids coming in. I loved them all. They were coming in, and a lot of them were first generation, just similar to me. So I wanted to make it united so it was open to everyone, Muslim, Christian, etc. Right? And the public means that it's, again, open for open for everyone. It's not private. It's not part of any religious sector. Leadership, it really was a leadership academy, because you are trying to be a leader of men, leader of yourself, leader of your family. So it's always, you got to be a leader no matter what. The academy obviously is scholastic and for youth, meaning for kids. So when you put it together, it sounds cool, but it was a real deep meaning to it, and it's catchy. And people say it in their daily, conversations, where do you play? And it just like, it catches them. So I'm really happy with the name that we came up with.
I'm happy too. When I used to play rep basketball, we would go to the Florida tournaments and some of these other big tournaments, and we'd go see teams like Nike Team Florida. Sorry, I think Nick Calathis was one of the players that was really standing out, and there were some other guys. And everybody would leave the other gyms to go see these guys play, whoever the top tier talent was. And now UPLAY is the team that everybody goes to see. So it's just amazing to see where you guys are at now.
Yeah, I think that we owe it to programs that came before us that paved the way. There was a grassroots program that started when it was really taboo to go to the States and send your kids to the States. And then you also had a Bounce, CIA Bounce. They got together and they were the first Nike team. And we kind of owe it to them because they opened up the doors. And for me, I just wanted to develop the kids and send them to those programs. But as we kept developing, we started building guys like Shea, who didn't really have a spot in those other teams because he was in Hamilton and those guys were Toronto guys. So we said, well, I have the connections. I'll do it myself. And one thing led to another. And now we're across the whole country. We have outlets in almost every province, mainly because we want to share the knowledge. I'm from a place where you share what you know so that everyone can grow long term as opposed to hoarding it. We try to teach the kids that. That's why a lot of our players are very unselfish because they take that mindset onto the court. That's why even though we have a guy like a Leonard Miller who play a little bit with us, they're on the court, even though they're 6'10", 6'11", they still pass the ball. Will Riley 6'9", because they understand that to be a great scorer, you have to be a playmaker. If you can't make plays for others, they load up on you. So the best thing is saying, how can I affect change even if my shot's not falling? Well, I can get to the elbow, which means the defense collapse. Once they collapse, someone has to help me, so I pass to the guy that is open. Now we have 4-on-3. My job is done. So it's I'm a little nerd with it,
Absolutely.
But this is what's going through these kids' heads when they're playing. That's why the game is easy. I'll finish with this to your question. You look at the game as a triangle. So I'm at the point of the triangle. You have a base and base. Let's just say I'm trying to get here. If the defense gets here first, I just spin off of him and I just get to where I want to be. But if I get there first, I hostage, I hold them in jail, and I still win. So you can go at your own pace and still accomplish the same goal. So that's why when people understand they have a control based on their pace, now you see why guys play under control. That comes from my program. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. Makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of the kids at home have aspirations of going to the NBA one day, and I think Shea's story is amazing because this is a guy, correct me if I'm wrong, that got cut, I think, from his ninth 9 or 10th team.
Yes.
So just to see a guy to go from being cut to progressing to the level that he did, I'm just wondering, and I'm sure the viewers at home are wondering, what are some things that kids, maybe drills or daily habits and practices that they can adapt similar to what Shea did? Because he's had so much growth, like we've probably never seen in Canada. So
well, first you have to control your circle in terms of what's getting in your head, because a lot of people can tell you what you can't do because they are projecting. So once you eliminate that, then now it's called visualization. You have to visualize success. You have to visualize the ball going in. Most people can practice all day long without being on the court, laying in your bed and visualizing the ball going in, or just muscle memory. So you do that, eventually you'll start getting comfortable knowing that you have the technique. And then you have to put yourself in the right situation with people that have the same goals as you. You should never be around people where you have your goals are bigger than them. It should be people pulling you because you're going to have down days, and you need a community of people, whether it's your grandma, your coaches, whoever. You need someone pulling you when you don't feel like getting up.
Absolutely.
That's really the key. And if you work hard, you get what you deserve. But here's the thing. Some people who work hard don't have those other elements I mentioned. That's why we created this program, so that people have an outlet. If they're fortunate enough to play for us, we eliminate the barriers. So I would say we're in NASCAR, we're racing. You have the USA, they have no barriers. You have France, they probably have a tire in the way. You have Africa, they have a bunch of different things in the way. You have Canada, we have 2 things in the way because they're close to the U.S. Our job as a program is to move the debris off of the road so that now you're on an even playing field. And so that's why our guys are doing very well. It's a very small country, but per capita, we are right there with the U.S. based on how many people play sports, basketball, and how many people are playing at a high level. So don't look at the numbers, look at the per capita. So we're happy to be a part of it. And yes, right now we're doing well, but we're just starting. We're 20 years in, so we're an institution. The next 20 years, we expect to, hopefully get to that FC Barcelona or, AC Milan stage. So we have a lot of aspirations. So we're looking forward to it. And, Any more questions you have, I'm here. But I'm excited about this because hopefully somebody can take this who probably can't reach our program and use the same methods that I'm telling you to create success on or off the court.
Awesome. So I have a question for you. I know there's some young kids out there and some parents that want to get their kids involved in basketball, and they have hoop dreams, and you guys are known as the top dogs in terms of player development and knowing that path and knowing what it takes to get to that next level. So for the viewers at home, how can they get in contact with UPLAY? And if they're looking to take their game to the next level, what are maybe some things that they can do?
Well, to get in contact with us, you can go to our website at uplaycanada.com, one word, but really our IG at UPLAY Canada is where you want to be. But there's a lot of people that want to knock parents off the road because they're creating businesses, and I respect that. So if you can't get to us, what you want to do is see if your kid really loves the game. If he's playing basketball young, put him in other sports. The worst thing you can do is just play basketball. I played 5 sports when I was coming up. I was, because it helps to teach you. Steve Nash played soccer. So the lateral movement, the IQ, the spatial awareness helps. And more importantly, try to not spend too much money on specialized training early until your kid says he wants to do it. Because it's where you end is not where you start. And you want to make sure that you enjoy the game. If you enjoy the game, you love something, and you like something, you're going to do well at it. And you're going to do it at a very high level for a long time.
Absolutely. Well, that's great to hear, and really glad to see the direction of things and where things are headed. We're almost about to wrap up, but I just had one more question for you.
Sure.
At what point did you know that Shea was going to be a superstar at the level that he is now, and what were some things that he was doing on a daily basis that kind of separated himself from the pack?
I knew that Shea was going to be a superstar once he got traded to OKC. I lived with him in LA. Obviously, I've been with him for quite a while. But a lot of guys work hard. They don't get the breaks. When he got traded, the team needed someone. Remember, he pretty much essentially got traded for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
That's right.
So when you get traded for that, that means that they value you. They value you the same way that I would value you, or your mother or your dad. So when he got traded, he was able to play through mistakes, similar to when I helped him get to a prep school in the States. From Canada, he went to a school that wasn't a known school, but he was able to play through mistakes. So his journey has always been being in a position where you can affect change the most and have errors and still not get judged. So he did that, and with his work ethic, his mindset, and the opportunity, similar to what we give at UPLAY, allowed him to be in a position to show, his true gift, which was being a leader and resilient, and he's a tough SOB.
He really is. He really is. And it's amazing to see, because I know when I was in high school, even though I should have been a guard, they played me more at the 5 position.
I remember.
But you had the foresight. Back when a lot of coaches were not playing guys in the positions that would help them get to the next level, you were doing that back then. And I remember you helped me to get a scholarship to prep school, which to this day I'm very thankful for. And if I hadn't ran into you, I wouldn't have got that opportunity. I think Canada's in really good hands with your organization and what you've done, and we're really excited for the future of Canadian basketball.
Well, thank you very much. You're very intelligent. When I saw you as a kid, I said, this guy has great awareness. You had, cerebrally, you were there, and I just wanted to make sure that you had opportunities, and we're here to pass batons. We are not here to hide the baton. So long as we can pass it down, the next generation is in a great space. Whether you use basketball, football, podcasts, etc. And this podcast is phenomenal, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming too. And your resume and what you've done is phenomenal. And it's not every day, guys, that we have an expert in player development and in the game. And we're really thankful for you taking the time to sit with us. Amazing things you're doing.
It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. And for all the young kids out there, if someone say you can't, say yes, you can. Always bet on yourself.
That's right. Always bet on yourself.
GameBreakers is home to everything esports and basketball. Let's break the game.
Welcome back to the GameBreakers. What an amazing interview that was to kick off our premiere episode. Dwayne Washington, CEO of UPLAY. What an amazing guy, a class act, and he's done amazing things for Canadian athletes. Yep.
Amazing, and to be able to sit with a guy that literally helped to develop Shea Alexander as one of the best players in the NBA right now.
Yep.
It's pretty special.
Yep. Yeah, we're hoping to get Shea on this show one day, so it's a kickoff for sure. And as we are on the GameBreakers, we love to give away cash prizes prizes. We love to give away cool prizes as well, not just cash, including this Fred VanVleet jersey we're giving away. So as you see, there's a Fred VanVleet jersey hanging on the desk right here. So if you want to win that prize, all you guys have to do is like, share, and subscribe, and tag a friend in the comments below.
Not asking for a whole lot, guys, and this is an amazing jersey, so let people know, spread the word, and we're excited to give this away to one of our lucky winners. We'll see.
Yeah, you have to be a subscriber to win our contest. That's another thing I wanted to talk about too. We're going to be giving away hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. If you want to take part in our contest and you want to take part in our challenges, you have to be a subscriber. Once we have the monthly subscription available, you're going to also have to be a monthly subscriber as well, because we're going to be giving away a lot of cash. A lot of cash.
A lot. And we're super excited to have you guys joining us on this journey. This is the first of many prizes that we're going to do. Yeah, we're excited.
So like I said, guys, thank you so much for joining us on our premiere episode. My name's Dave Finley. This is Cam. We are the GameBreakers. Make sure to like and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so you're aware every time we go live and every time we're giving away some cash. Nice to see you, and we'll see you again.
Let's break the game.
If you love the GameBreakers, make sure to go to millions.com to grab your first edition merchandise. The official merchandise of the biggest basketball game show on YouTube, only on Millions.